What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk to you about Hologram. I want to go over some of the data points, latest and updates, and go over everything else that you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So I haven't done that many videos for Hologram, still sticking to that one per week, but there's some very obvious things that are happening. And oddly enough, there is a lot of bulls out there just really hyping up Hologram as a squeeze play. And I feel like they are neglecting one thing. So getting right to it though, the market's been crap. Everyone knows that. China retaliating on Friday. Obviously I think it was expected, but at the end of the day, it didn't really help anyone. So I think just now both sides are just going down the crapper a little bit. So what does that mean for Hologram that has X amount of cash? Because that's something that, based on the 20F that they submitted on March the 21st, they have a lot of cash. And so I always like to play devil's advocate, and so they did increase based on this. But as I even stated in my previous video when I went over this and covered the 20F, they don't actually go over what the new outstanding share count is. And the reasoning is because they are afraid of what that will do to the stock price. So unfortunately, we're still kind of left in the dark associated to that, but they do bring up this. And again, I always like to play devil's advocate. If there's positive things going for this company or good momentum, I say it. But at the same time, if there's negatives, I also say it. So kind of have to take everything. You can't just only like the positives. But I did bring up this, so expansion of cash and cash equivalents. It goes over how they increase their cash. They neglect to state where they actually did get that from, which is all short-term notes. And this is point number one I do want to bring up that a lot of bulls are neglecting is, yes, they have roughly, as stated at the end of 2024, roughly 118.45 million. We already know from previous disclosures it's a little bit more higher than that. I think it's sitting at 300 something or 280. But beside the point, a lot of those short-term notes, so 365-day notes, where that's how they got all this money from, not from generating true revenue, but from selling notes, that is coming due. So if we kind of go over here for 1 second, I'm just gonna humor me for 1 second. But if we kind of go over here, January 21st, this is this year. So if we kind of go to, let's see, April 2024, we have this prospectus, March 14th, 2024. Again, 365-day note that was already due. And then aside from that, April 23rd, so this month, another 28 million, and then they received 25 from that. So 28 million has to be paid from that. May the 9th, that's another one. May the 22nd. You guys get the idea, right? So a lot of bulls out there are really trying to pump people up. And I get it. That happens with every stock, but do your own due diligence. This is point number one that people are really neglecting, that really puts them in a bind. And second point I do want to bring up is it's very obvious that they have been trying to deceive investors. And I've pointed this out in the past, how they go through their PR blitzes. But don't you find it very convenient that they stopped all their news on March the 18th? I can't be the only one questioning them. This is kind of crazy that if you look on social media, a lot of people such as this guy who has 1,200 followers, there's a lot of them out there, they're pumping Hologram like crazy. But is nobody ever questioning that they have been doing massive PR blitzes? And as I even brought up during this time period, they were trying to kind of trick the algorithm into really pushing it higher, but they were doing all of this pumping until they realized that it wasn't a reverse stock split was going to be that route that they take, which was approved, mind you, from the shareholder meeting. So it is, I don't know. I really hope this company does something concrete, but them not disclosing the outstanding share count on this 20F, them just stopping the PR, it's just, there's so many red flags that is associated to this company. It's just crazy. But at the end of the day though, you also have, like I said, this one tweet that I did bring up saying that some big entities are buying based on SEC disclosures. There was no such thing. So last disclosure through 13Fs was on February the 26th, and that was not 5+ million shares. And I monitor this all the time. So I monitor secondary market, dark pool, all of these transactions, and there was no $5 million or share, doesn't really state what, there was nothing. And so for instance, on Friday, there was one transaction, 400,000, 252,000 for a premium. And unfortunately with the dark pool, you can't really tell whether it's a buy or a sell. That's kind of the whole purpose of it. It's supposed to be anonymous, but you can kind of tell based on the price point and what was happening with the stock price, you could tell it was a sell. So big money is selling out. And you even see this right here. Short sellers are running rampant like crazy. You also have this. So just on Thursday and Friday, hedge funds sold the most that they have in one day since 2010. So it's kind of funny how people are trying to spin the narrative, but no matter what, just do your own due diligence. At the end of the day, I know I might come off as blunt and straight to the point, but honestly, I have been 100,000% correct with Hologram. And in the past, I kind of just covered it, called out their BS, and I didn't really do anything about it. But roughly 3 weeks ago, I did decide to buy puts, because when it started to spike to, I think it was like $1.18-ish, the high, I'm like, okay, this is BS. I bought puts and I'm already up 90% with those puts. So this is why you just need to think level-headed. Don't act with emotion, just read the data. And this company is diluting like crazy. So a lot of people at the same time will think and kind of call out saying that it is a squeeze play. It's not a squeeze play. Currently 10.54% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 16.1 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost to borrow average is 9.8%. So based on this information right here, which technically isn't even the correct outstanding share count, so with the potential dilution, that could bring this 10.54 down to 1%, or even potentially less than 1%. So definitely, you guys, if you want to believe in Hologram, have at it. I'm all there for you. But like I said, there's just a lot of very obvious red flags with this stock that I feel like you can't ignore. But then again, what do I know? Hopefully it goes up higher from here. So let me know your thoughts on Hologram. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. One final thing, if you are looking for some kick-ass buy signals, pop over to my Patreon. I give buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolutely on point and bangers. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.